Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, this is Smith Black with the Strat Time Report, and let's take a look. We had a rough opening here, so SPY is still an inside day, right? So there's that. But yesterday when we gapped down and started to rally back here, we're a lot closer to a 2-2 reversal, 2 down, 2 up, coming into today. But that didn't trigger yet, right? And a lot of it didn't. And a lot of things went to the downside. So people were asking me, well, if there's a lot of things that are close to doing that, can we get long and stay long overnight? I said no. And the problem is you got a big bright red month. We're red on the year. We're red on the quarter. This is not like last year where you buy the dipper, right? Things really got to trigger, right? And so that did not happen. So if we go to our 60, you'll see this. And people ask me this all the time too. If we close out like this and then have a 2-2 reversal on the 60, does that count? I'm like, it does, right? And then we come back down here, but now firming up a little bit, couldn't take out the lows over here, so still an inside day as of right now, but we'll see how that goes going forward. Q's still your big loser, and Q's just took this thing out right in one shot, boom, and you can see how almost everything did that, closed near the highs, but then boom, back to previous range, and that's what you're looking for, because I've talked about this in the Q's, this outside week here. Getting back into this, it was a problem because that is a broadening formation. An outside bar is a broadening formation on a shorter time frame. Therefore, once you get out of it and then you start coming back through, we're going to look to take this out. And that's going to be your 317.45. Now, Microsoft and Google coming out after the close might have something to say about that. So we'll see. But for right now, not an inside day and getting closer to taking that month to the downside. Still an inside month as of right now, but it's getting a lot closer. And like I said, a lot of big earnings. We got Facebook on Wednesday, and Apple and Amazon on Thursday. So a lot of guys going to have a lot to say about that. So what you just had was some counter trending action on the 30 to firm up a little bit. Now you got a new 30 and a new 60. Do they really want to bring them back, or are they going to take them right back down? And that's what we're going to always focusing, like that 60 is like a new day to us. What's this thing going to do now? You go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, and the diamonds also still an inside day. And remember, slightly took out that month to the upside, but now you could set up the rev strat to the downside. We'll see. For right now in the week, still doji because of the inside day. If you go to small cappers, yeah, the small cappers here takes out that day by a little bit. You can see that in the opening. Same deal. 60 up and then 60 down, 2-2 reversal, boom, and goes takes out the lows. So that's still flirting with taking out last month's lows on a 2-2 reversal here. 2 up, 2 down, just running out a month. I always like to go to the gappers if I can that I post. Arch still going. This is a nice one. 2 down, 2 up reversal on the day. And if you get onto your 30, you get this inside on the 30. 149.88. There you go. That's $8-9. And now trying to do this: the 2 up, the 2 down, and back up. All right. So not a lot of magnitude. Just take out that 158.60. See if it did that. Yep. And so when we talk about magnitude, here is just to take this out. When it takes this high out, to take that out, right? Because then these two become an outside bar of that, which it did. And that's fine, especially if you got your first load into here. Arch, and with that, the AMR. AMR having a nice little day here too, although backing off on the 30 now. Let's see how that 60 looks. Backing off on a 2-2-60 reversal. So we'll see if that sets up again, because you have that 2 down and the 2 up on the day. Was going pretty nicely. We're still watching to see big tech wreck. If anything, group-wise, we had some energy coming up. Is crude does do the 2 down, 2 up reversal. 2 down on Monday, 2-2 reversal to come back up into this range. So you got some things out of there. It's got Valero and the refiners. Here, you're 2 down, you're 2 up, reversal. Still holding on this thing. We'll see how that goes. Potentially an outside week too, the upside. You can watch that with the refiners, but it's pretty much leading the charge by itself right now. If you go to Cheniere LNG, there's your shooter, hammer counter shooter 2-2 reversal on the Tuesday and coming back up into the range. Still handling an inside month, but on a day like today, we're just looking for any kind of outperformance we can find. If you go to CEIX, CEIX also, the 2 down, the 2 up, and that's what we're looking for in a lot of other things. Just didn't get it with all that weakness right out the chute. Oxy to a certain extent. Here, 2 down, 2 up, just not doing total gangbusters. And Slob and Halliburton is kind of hanging around in there. We'll see if anything more comes of those guys. If we go to McKesson, MCK. And MCK, just another 2-2 reversal. There's your higher high, there's your lower low. Broadening formation trying to come back through. 2-2 reversal now. Inside on the 60, so we'll see what comes of that. Broader average is kind of just sitting there now in these new 60s. If we go to MORF, a little shenaniganer, but a nice 2-1-2 daily. 2 down, inside, back up. Now we'll see if this 60 take kicks in here. You can see this inside 60. The slight poke down, that would be Rev Strat to the upside. Here, the next hour above 35.28 if there's any more in the tank for this thing. Another group that's firming up from last night's vid, Northrop Grumman, War Machines, Rev Strat. Inside day, poke down, boom, back through. Not totally going gangbusters here either, and inside on the 60. But that just tells you to keep an eye on like Lockheed Martin, which is also a 2-2 reversal on the day. General Dynamics here also doing it as well. If we go to ROP, nice 2 down, 2 up reversal. Now inside on the 60. We'll see if we can get any more of that. Maybe an outside week, but having a real nice strong day as ROP. All right. Market's starting to soften just a little bit, but some of the usual suspects really getting hammered here. Tesla's. That's a 3-2 shooter week down. And whenever you see like a tight range like this, and then an attempt to get out of it, the higher high, and then you come back into this thing, that's the top of the broadening formation. So a lot of people will say, well, I don't see the bottom of it. I'm like, you're about to. Bam! Down goes Tesla's, and we'll see if there's anything more to that. Said some of the big boys, Amazon, also taking out yesterday's lows. Here, the outside week. This buying was rejected. It's still being rejected coming down into here, but earnings are coming. AFRM here, not totally getting killed, but one of the things we looked for last night in the video is anybody staying inside day yesterday, right? Market gap down and rallied back. But anybody inside day hasn't made a decision. So when the market started tanking this morning, we're going after some inside days. AFRM for one. If you go to our BLX, still puking. Once again, an inside day. So when the Q started falling apart, all these techie guys started to get hammered right out the chute. And the good thing, though, is they didn't gap. They opened and then moved through. That's what you want because you want to stop guys out with the combination of having sellers in there because we know they're backing off. Okay, market's starting to soften here just a touch. If we go to, oh boy, Netflix, still going. It's still going, right? So anybody trying to bottom pick this has been dead wrong, and they still are. You can see this slowly but surely now cutting them, but slowly after this big bomber. If we go to Boeing still having a rough time, and you can see this here on the weekly. Last week was a 2 up by taking out the highs, 2-2 reversal back down. Still inside of the month, but going after these months, and we'll see if that can complete that. Wynn Resorts, the pandemics. Still an inside month, but also that 2 up on the week last week, and boom, 2-2 reversal, and taking out yesterday's lows coming down into here. So we'll see how that goes for the rest of the week. So spying a bunch of these guys off at least off the fivers to start this new 60-minute 2-1-2 down off the fiver. 2 up, inside, back down. Spy. If we go to Yum Brands. And Yum Brands, 2 up, 2 down, and down she goes. Reversal on the week, and just getting pounded today, having a real tough time, getting closer to being a 2 up, 2 down month as we finish off the month as well. If we go to AMD, also an inside day to the downside, all right? And that's what we were looking for right at the chute. And once again, it didn't gap. That's the good part. Open and moved through, right? So we'll see if there's anything more to that going forward as well. Keeping an eye on these things. So the Qs did it too on the 5s. Here. Oops. two up, inside, back down, reversal. So we'll see if anything worse comes of all those guys. Roku. And Roku also the inside day to the downside problem, and you can see what a mighty decline this has had. And last night in the power hour, we bringing up a lot of the macro charts because the macro vid's coming out, and you can see, if you knew what we knew, here in Roku, there's your two up, two down reversal on the month here. And that has not been reversed since 391.18, trading 93.09. There's been some really nice declines out of these things, and they're still going. People are like, how low can they go? I'm like, zero. Okta. Also, inside day to the downside. All right, taking these guys out, no longer an inside month, and you can see the declines this baby's had. All right, if we go to TTWO. And TTWO, I don't think that was quite an inside day, but let me see here. Not quite an inside day, but these two were inside of that, right? Boom, down she goes, right? And we'll see if anything more comes of that. We're going to have to stay in fibers. We go to the 60s. See if we get another 60 in there to see if it backs off. If you go to shop, still puking, right? And we've known about this. It's really been hurting for a long time. I talked about this last night. When you have a day like this, after the market tries to rally back, I don't believe shop was inside either, but no, shop was not quite inside, but you get that and dump in here. And here was your reversal there. Two up, two down on the month, below 1,452.05. Nice $1,000 haircut you got there, buddy. We also got the memes coming in a little bit. GameStonk and AMC was an inside day. I believe it went outside day. So not totally getting killed, but that's what's going on. If we go to CRL. Yeah, CRL, this thing just getting clocked. Some exhaustion risk by going into recent lows, but having a rough day into here, and we'll see if that sets up again for us. And then Chewy. And Chewy's still puking. This is another one that's having all sorts of problems here. Did get your inside 60 and tries to poke up, so we'll see if that sets up again on the downside. Strat for us. Right now, let's go perennial puker GE. And GE just, it is what it is, and it can chop around for a while, but then eventually it just gives it up. Little exhaustion risk by going into recent lows. Now firming up on those 60s. We'll see what comes of that. So coming into earnings here, we got Google. No longer an inside month. It took all these guys out. Now the question is going to stay down there, right? And that's what we're going to find out when these earnings come out. Right now it's still an inside day, it looks like to me. So we'll see what comes of that, but you can see, like a lot of things in the SMHers, taking out last month's lows, all that kind of stuff, and then we go to Microsoft. And Microsoft, an inside day so far coming into earnings. Still inside month, but getting closer to taking all these guys out, because we know guys like NVIDIA and all them have already done it, wiping out last month's lows. So we want to see, especially as we get closer into the end of the month, how all this thing closes out, as well as all these big boy earnings and how they act to it, because we know Netflix, and then last quarter Facebook, all sorts of trouble so far. So we'll see what they say and see what that does to everything, if it repairs it or really rips it down. That's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, Mr. Black, Strat Time Report.